back to the Upper Tier Podcast, the football podcast we bring you each and every week on the Dynamo Podcast Network. Head over to YouTube, smash that subscribe and bell notification button. Audio versions of the show are available through Spotify, Apple iTunes, Podbean, wherever you pick up your audio shows. Joining me tonight for our review and preview of the semis of the Euros 2020. Joining me, Ian the Dynamo Kelly, the Podfather. How we doing, Ian?
How are you doing, brother?
Good. Not too bad at all. Also joining me from Retrotainment, Greg. How we doing, Greg?
What's happening, man?
Good, not a bother at all. As always, if you want to contact the show, you'll get us at the _upper_ tier on Twitter. You'll also get us on Facebook, the Upper Tier, and you'll also get us on Instagram. Not a bother at all. Greg, tell us before we get into this. 2 shows dropped today, Retrotainment.
It was a busy build up to this one. We had Ian there on Terminator. In Terminator 2, yeah. Which was his 30th anniversary today.
What a movie.
So we dropped that. Arguably the greatest sci-fi movie ever made. It's definitely the best sequel ever. Definitely the best sequel ever.
Whatever. And
we had Carl Woking on Terminator 1 because we figured we couldn't do T2 without T1. So we done a nice double header today for all the fans. So
I watched both of them back. Yeah, I thought they were awesome.
Yeah, they went well.
And by the way, even though this is a football show, for anyone wondering why I'm just wearing this old school Chelsea jersey, it's not just because I'm a Chelsea fan. It's actually in tribute to the England fan Charlie Naughton that passed away there during the Germany England game. He was only 29 years old, and he died literally when Harry Kane scored the goal. He had a heart attack in the pub. And a lot of the English players have sent out tributes and said this one was for him. Like, so he was by all accounts supposedly a great guy. They tried to save him for 3 hours, but it was lost cause. So just thought I'd pay a little tribute there for that. Yeah, that's why I'm wearing the Chelsea jersey.
Thoughts and condolences to his family, without a shadow of a doubt, from all of us here. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Also, in another fantastic episode dropped from On the Slab.
Yeah.
What a show.
Listen, you're going to need a bigger boat with some of these shows. All I'm saying, like, it's summer season at the beach, and what else are you going to talk about?
What a week it's been for the network. We got the 2 Terminators, we got Jaws. It looks like potentially football's coming home. We've had some serious shows this week.
Well, I think Forza Italia will have something to say about that, and there'll be a different jersey on next week, right? This is in tribute to Charlie, so.
God, I hope so.
Yeah, I think we'll get into that, but yeah, I've strong opinions on where that trophy's going.
Absolutely. Let's take a quick look back at the quarterfinals anyway, and start. I suppose we kick off. Czech Republic 1, Denmark 2. I think this was a good match. It was a bit sort of nervy towards the end a little bit, but I think, Greg, we called it the other night. It was going to be Denmark, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a setup, better team overall, playing for each other, playing for Ericsson, playing for the country. Well, they're all playing for the country, but it just seems to mean more for Denmark at the minute. But
it shows you when the brotherhood comes together, doesn't it? Like, I mean, take away talent even. I mean, they're all talented. Any footballer that's getting paid, professionally to make a living for it, 9 out of 10 of them have talent, or they fit a certain role within the team. And I think when you bring that unity to the team, Greg, like it's almost unbeatable, isn't it, at times?
I tell you what, whatever Kerr done after that first game, I don't know how he got the lads back. Like, the game should have never went ahead, the first one.
It never should have went ahead. I disagree with that, yeah.
How well him as a captain, the coach, the staff, and I believe Ericsson's involved in it as well. But Denmark have just been sensational. I know they lost to Belgium in the second game, but I think everything just got to them towards the second half. But since then, they've been fabulous. Destroyed Russia. Went on today. Could have been. First goal went in early, and they could have been 1-1, and it didn't look it to me either.
No,
Uh,
refs we're looking at there, but
But
I think the refs don't.
I like the way they've gone about it. The VAR hasn't really involved itself overly too much. Now there's been a couple of strange decisions, but like,
Yeah.
I thought Denmark should have probably won 3-4-1 at the end of this game.
I'm thinking hats off to the Czech Republic as well. That was a nice touch at the start where they presented the Ericsson jersey with all the team signatures on it. I thought that was really sick, like the way they did that. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, it was phenomenal.
I'll tell you what though, lads, your man Schick has definitely put himself up from the window, hasn't he?
I mean, like there's a bang of Drogba off him. Do you know what I mean? There's something about him. I've been following him, like even when he was with Roma. I know you mentioned him to me before, Greg, as well.
He's a tidy little player. Well, not little, but
no, that's what I'm saying. There's a bang of Drogba off him. He holds the ball up really well. I'm not saying he's he's the equivalent, but
seen it more today that he dropped deeper and deeper to get the ball to try and make things happen. He looks like he's the new. To me, he reminds me of your man Jan Koller that used to play for the Czech Republic.
Yeah,
very much so.
The big baldy.
Very much so. Yeah, 6 foot fucking 7, playing for Dortmund.
Yeah, he was quality, but your man Schick's definitely put himself in the window. Wouldn't surprise me to see him go to the likes of an Arsenal. Could even replace Kane at Spurs.
Yeah, that'd be a good show for Spurs actually. Yeah,
absolutely. Let's move on. Belgium 1, Italy 2. Belgium didn't look like they really had the heart for it towards the end, did they?
I'm gonna take this one. I was torn on this one because we had a little family pool, as I mentioned to you, and Rachel had she had Belgium, so we stood to win like 200 quid, and I was kind of like, I had Croatia, even though we made it in the knockout phase, and they were like, "Oh, your team's gone," and I was like, "No, it's not. Still at Belgium." It's kind of like it's a me casa, su casa.
Not, and it's gone.
Yeah, but no, I had like my heart to hearts told me, and like I actually found it very, very difficult to be cheering on Belgium last night, even because realistically my soul was going Forza Italia, you know what I mean? But I gotta say, man, like Kevin De Bruyne was fucking shocking. I mean, talk about a Mayfainer. Like the simple things last night, even he couldn't do, as in like pass the ball. The amount of times there was an opportunity for breakaways in that second half, like for quick counterattacks, and he just wouldn't pass it. Your man, Baku, the black guy with the dreads.
Doku,
sorry.
Yeah.
Last night. Thing I fucking De Bruyne was a huge letdown. Lukaku, I mean, good lord, he turned into Morata last night, didn't he?
If he had a penalty,
maybe Chelsea should just keep looking at Haaland. Yeah, so it's basically like that back line is just absolutely incredible. Chiellini and Bonucci, there is not a better defensive partnership on planet Earth. It goes back. You could compare these guys if they win this Euros. You could go back and compare these guys to the Baresi's and Maldinis of this world. Like they are just absolutely incredible. And shout out to my own boy Jorginho. I mean, good lord, what a second half of the season that lad is having. Just literally just controlling the tempo.
Verratti's class.
Oh, Verratti is just he's just a little. I'd say he's a pain in the bollocks to play against. To be honest with you.
Oh, imagine playing him in a game of 5-a-side or something.
Yeah.
Jesus,
you know what I mean?
Christ.
He's Italy's Kante. Do you know what I mean? He's just a little ball of energy.
He's a dog, isn't he? He goes in.
I think Insigne has grown into the tournament. He didn't have a great first game against Turkey. He was kind of again being a bit of a Mayfainer for any of the terms over there. If any of the English or Americans are watching, Mayfainer means like just bit of a do it alone and not pass the ball. But
I thought he was very good in the first game against Turkey.
yeah, but it was the shots that were bothering me.
Oh
Greg.
yeah, just shooting from everywhere.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like his runs and all were great, but it was just every opportunity he got. I'll tell you one thing. Federico Chiesa, Enrico Chiesa's kid.
What a player.
He's got a bright future, hasn't he?
Yeah, what a player. He's come in. What did he come in the second game and turn the game around? And then that was it then.
Oh.
Yeah.
What about, lads, one thing I wanted to point out that's kind of more of a funny moment is well, for a start, I love how big Kevin De Bruyne was trying to pick on little Jorginho all the time, trying to kick him, and I was like, you don't have Rudiger here to back you up. I was like, well, wait till next season. Rudiger will be back. And you can get the other eye.
In fairness, I'd say Jorginho was well capable of looking after himself.
Oh, I'd say so. He's a fella boy. But no, one thing I noticed as well, like, and it's true, you know, sometimes when you're talking to non-football fans and they think that everyone's just diving at every opportunity. I was sitting with Rachel. She's getting mad into the football, I have to say. And I always say to her, look, you have to be careful because when you're watching this in slow motion, it looks like nothing. But in real time, these lads are fucking athletes. Like, the slightest clip on the side of the temple can literally knock you out. You know what I mean? And last night, that Belotti challenge proved it. It looked like nothing with Belotti. It looked like just a little sidearm, but then Belotti had a little shiner under his eye. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah, it's mad.
Yeah, it's so quick. It's so quick.
I'll tell you though, losing Spinazzola is going to be a big loss for them.
Well, Emerson, I think, done a decent job when he came on, but yeah, Spinazzola.
He's been that left hand side for them. He's been phenomenal.
He's had a great tournament, hasn't he?
He's had what did he do? He ruptured his Achilles or something.
I felt so bad for the kid. Oh man, you could see like when he went down. I thought it was the knee initially because it looked like the knee kind of stumped. And I thought, that's a knee job, but it was the ankle, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He was devastated himself. Like.
It was terrible, man.
When Fabrizio Romano says something, like if Fabrizio Romano says that your wife's cheating on you, you might as well file for divorce now. It's over.
Yeah. When you get to here we go, it's time.
It's all over.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But no, I thought Italy were phenomenal, lads. I think
team of the tournament.
Without a shadow of a doubt, and I think the name, I think their name is on it. Like I can't see any team. I just see pure unity in that team. I mean, we look at I know this isn't a transfer show, but I mean, getting Donnarumma on a free, getting Ramos on a free. I just wanted to point that out with Paris Saint-Germain.
They got Gini Wijnaldum as well.
Wijnaldum on a free. I mean, obviously they don't have any wage structure and financial fair play doesn't, apply to PSG. We've known that for years.
Doesn't apply to rich teams.
No, that's why I'm saying, Roman, come on, just buy that fucking Norwegian Viking fuck. Come on.
I can't see that happening.
Oh, it's definitely happening. Trust me.
It's certainly be interesting anyway.
Because in case anyone forgot, just thought I'd mention it again. Champions of Europe. We know what we are. We'll end up with Schick.
Which wouldn't be too bad.
Alexander Isaac.
Oh no! Fuck! He looks like Carlton. He looks like a skinny Carlton from Fresh Prince of Bel Air. He's gone to Real Sociedad actually.
He was with them, wasn't he?
He's with them.
Yeah, but they've actually signed him now officially, like fully. They paid the release clause. They've got it. They bought him officially.
I thought he was there. I didn't know he was on loan.
Yeah, they owned his contract. Fucking Borussia Dortmund. Apparently, that was Fabrizio Romano said it. So I'm just going with what he said.
I'll take that. So
yeah,
we'll take that as gospel.
He's shy anyway. Just saying.
Let's move on. Switzerland won, Spain won, and then Spain going through 3-1 on penalties. I don't think I've ever seen a worse penalty shootout.
Oh, and like in the time where penalty shootouts have been pretty awesome, right? Like with the Europa League. No offense, Greg, but I mean that was a pretty fucking phenomenal penalty shootout.
Someone had to lose that shootout. Do you know what I mean? It was what it was.
And it came down to obviously a goalkeeper. But in terms of like, I was a neutral on that, and I'm nervous now, and I don't even know which team I'm nervous for. This is just fucking
just for the next penalty taker. That's it.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? I'm like shit, but
even the France one,
and even the Switzerland-France penalty shootout was phenomenal. But then like Spain come and always ruin it all. Us Irish know all about it, right?
Yeah, on a shootout as well.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But I called Switzerland the other night, and I actually generally thought the red card in that game was an absolute travesty.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seemed a bit like it's like, I don't know. The one thing that stuck out of this tournament is the gulf in officiating between the European refs and the Premier League refs. Like it's just the gulf in talent between those European refs and the likes of Michael Oliver and stuff. Michael Oliver's a terrible referee. Really is a terrible referee.
Desperate.
The German refs are the best in the business without a shadow of a doubt, and I think followed closely by the Italians.
That one that done that game there, the England game, he'll do the final.
Yeah. I mean, the Germans and the Italian refs are just, and they have been historically always the best. They command respect. Shout out to Kalina, best ref of all time.
Absolutely.
But it's amazing, isn't it? Like for all the money that the Premier League has, like we're still always talking about refereeing in the Premier League, whereas in this Euros, we haven't been. There's not been like you mentioned it at the start there, Greg. It's not been like many issues that we've kind of went, that's fucking disgraceful. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
A little thing here and there where like a corner shouldn't have been a corner, or
you can't change that one.
Yeah, do you know what
but
I mean?
The likes of the red card that Iman Brooks got for Wales was just a little clip of the ankles, and he was sent straight off for it, and you're like, what?
You're not taking the context into it that like the challenge looked worse than it was, but when you slow it down, like go on, just look at it on the video.
But this is even where me and you were talking the other day, Niall, about it, and I said that the red card in the Sweden game, I didn't think that was a red card either. And then there in that Swiss game there, that wasn't a red card neither.
Yeah, I think Mark, who comes on the podcast, who's kind of our resident referee, he says a lot of the time, he says the likes of Michael Oliver and stuff like that, they're trying to create themselves as superstars instead of just being anonymous. Like if you look at a lot of the top referees, you never really notice them in a game. They just get the job done, get on with it. They're not looking to grab that limelight from the match, if you like. Whereas your man Michael Oliver, he's just constantly out all the time. He wants to be on camera all the time.
Well, I've said it before to you, Niall, haven't I? That like the most corrupt people can talk about UEFA and FIFA all they want, and this whole Super League proved it this year. The most corrupt organisation in sports is the FA, without a shadow of a doubt. They're up there with UEFA and FIFA anyway. If they're not more corrupt, they are without a shadow of a doubt corrupt. They gamesmanship 100%. They have agendas. I guarantee. I mean, former referees are actually coming out and saying this. And yet it's still not being dealt with. Like Mr. Pole himself has come out and said he was told to give certain teams the rub of the green without mentioning names. And that was never actually, straight away there should have been an investigation into that, because that's lending itself to sports betting. Like John Fashanu lost a career out of that. So did fucking, what's his name? Grobler,
What a goalkeeper.
What a goal! He was a fucking fantastic goalkeeper. But I'm just saying, the FA, like, I mean, they got the B up their bonnet because United, Chelsea, and the big boys were going to do the Super League thing, and they called it corruption. And I was like, wow, that is literally the pot calling the kettle black,
Yeah,
and the referees are just fucking phenomenal. They're little yes men that. I mean, Mike Oliver couldn't be a superstar even to his wife. The hack of the little fuck. I'd say his dick is as fucking big as his little finger. Go and take your fucking walks.
But I was even thinking in terms of even the difference between him and, say, Anthony Taylor. Like, there's a massive difference even between the two of them. Like, Taylor he's been pretty good this season.
I don't mind Taylor. Taylor can be probably one of the best of a bad bunch, I think.
I'll tell you what, though, a big shout out to him after the Denmark game. He was very quick on the.
There you go. That's what I mean. Like, I think he seems like a pretty good. He seems like a pretty good lad. Like, I don't mind him. But do you remember John Moss as well? He was not the wrestler. John Moss, the referee was.
He was all right. Yeah.
He wasn't too bad. I mean, some of the boys are good.
They're no Howard Webb lads.
Oh, jeez, I'm getting started on that fuck.
What was the other lad? Ellery.
David Ellery.
Oh, Who was your man? Durso, the little fucking pencil neck. Oh no, that's a real pencil neck. But that little prick you're talking about though at the start there, what's his name?
Howard Webb.
No, just
Michael Oliver.
Oh,
yeah. Oh my God, there's a lad that just like even a man wants to slap that head, right? Like, how did I make you? Like, you don't even look good at Christmas, and everyone looks good at Christmas.
Let's move on to the last match. Ukraine 0, England 4.
biggest upset of the tournament here.
Oh,
Harry Kane has suddenly found the shooting boots. Maguire, Hendo pitching in with a header. Shaw with 2 assists. There's a real fear that football could be coming home, isn't there?
I generally don't understand this football's coming on. I understand if they'd actually won this tournament before.
yeah. There's no fear that football's coming home. I think that's going to be quelled. I think Denmark will actually give them a proper game.
I think Denmark will beat them. I was only saying that to you just before that we came on now. Yeah. I think Denmark will beat them.
Me too.
Well, you know this country owned the whole planet at one stage, don't you? You do realise that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did.
So did Genghis Khan, but sure, look, they're not very good at football.
And that was one man, not a country. One man owned it.
Nice. Let's have a look at the semis then. Italy versus Spain. Absolute mouth-watering tie.
I think Italy are too good.
I think Italy will be. I think Spain will be easily disposed of. I mean, if you're going with Morata or that little Ferran Torres fucking chump up front,
he's good though.
He's good, yeah, but he's not at the level required to get past Bonucci. I'm sorry, my favorite defensive partnership, in world football right now is those two. And it's funny because it always seems to be the Italians, because Nesta and Cannavaro used to be my former favorite defensive partnership.
They're kind of the favourite partnership. They've been that way for nearly the last 50 years.
I know, Chiellini. I know, it's like the Italians just always have your favourite partnership. It's like, didn't Chiellini come out the other day and say that he knows Bonucci better than his wife? It's like,
I'm not even going to get into that.
But
those two, each to their own. 2021, yeah, absolutely.
Those two are brilliant together.
They are phenomenal, aren't they?
You noticed it when Bonucci left Juventus and went to AC Milan for the year and was like, nah, fuck that. I need him back.
It's just it's effortless with them as well, isn't it? The understanding and all is just effortless. Like they go out there and like, I don't know, at times they barely even break a sweat. They find it so easy to defend.
I've said this for a long time. You remember when Antonio Conte came to Chelsea? They were close to signing Bonucci, but he didn't want to leave because I think his wife, I think there was some sort of sickness or something in the family, and he ended up going to Milan the next year. I have honestly believed, and I still do believe, that Bonucci is the best all-round centre back on the planet, and I still do believe that. His ball playing ability, like his long balls, his passing range is fucking phenomenal. If you follow Italian football, you'll see that, like his the amount of balls he's put through for the likes of Chiesa or Ronaldo, and even before that, you know what I mean. I just think he is unbelievable. And then with Chiellini, he is literally your epitome of like your Italian Vidic or Terry. Do you know what I mean? Just get his head in everything, and he reads the game perfectly.
It generally shows the difference in how people are brought up in the likes of Italy and England. You have defenders over there that are taught how to defend properly. And then in England, it's all right. You can be a good defender. There's very rare where you get the likes of Rio, Terry, Campbell, Adams, things like that. It's very rare. But look at Italy's centre backs over the years. There's about 100 of them that can be picked to play centre back. In England now, you have 5, 6 maybe.
But you would say there, but going on what you said there, Greg, as well. Like if you look at the likes of the names you mentioned there, like Rio, Terry, Sol Campbell,
Tony Adams.
Like in the modern game. No, but I mean in the modern game, look at who they had around them. It was these European influences. Like I mean, with Terry, you had you had Desailly and Frank LeBoeuf basically educating John Terry from the age of 17 years, or maybe even younger, 16 years old.
Well, I always maintained that Terry's best partner was Carvalho. I always thought he made Terry look a lot better. And I don't think he made even better.
I don't think he made him look better. I think it was just the perfect partnership, because Terry would mop shit up and Terry allowed Carvalho the license to go forward, much like Vidic. Yeah, much like Vidic did with Ferdinand. You know what I mean?
Whereas I absolutely loved Carvalho.
Yeah. Oh, listen, Carvalho was phenomenal, but like I think it was like, you know, Terry literally was cultured because of the players that were around him. The same way, like even Tony Adams, when he had his great time with Arsenal, like that was when Wenger came in and was teaching him the French way. Do you know what I mean? How to kind of be more.
They're taught how to do it properly.
Yeah, and it's because, you know, the old Irish / English way of defending was watch our house, fucking get rid. You know,
put it into Rose Ed.
Put it into Rose Ed. I remember being a young kid in my first fucking football match, and like anytime I got the ball, you know, if someone was running at me, they'd be like, get rid. I'm like, well, I'm on goal. What do you want me to do? Kick it out for a fucking goal kick?
Hold on, I'll knock it back to the keeper. Give it back to the keeper.
Yeah, and God forbid I tried to do like a little flick or something, or a little, you know, little turn. They'd be like, what are you doing? Which are fancy flicks, and you're like, well, you're a great teammate. Fuck you. And then you go and score a goal and be like, well done. More of
that. It's a big difference in class, though. Even looking at the likes of the French centre backs there with Varane and
I don't know. I don't make much of him, I have to say.
Varane?
No, I don't. I think he's I think he's very overrated, man. He's very overrated.
No chance.
I think he's you're not saying that because you think he's coming to United, but when he goes to PSG, he'd be overrated then.
No. I wanted him when Madrid signed him first.
No, I think he's good, but what I'm saying is I do think he's overrated the way they go on about him because he plays for Real Madrid. I don't think I think Ramos is overrated too. I mean, look, look what Chelsea done to Real Madrid. Chelsea literally bounced them around.
I don't know whether you could class him as overrated. I mean,
I think he's definitely overrated.
Is a phenomenal defender.
Who?
Sergio Ramos is a phenomenal. Was a phenomenal defender. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, but not now is what I'm saying.
This season is worse from injuries. That's it.
Yeah. But that's all I'm saying. But I think Rafael Varane is a good player. He's a great defender, and like, make no mistake about it. I'm not in any way, shape, or form saying he's shit. There's context to this. I just don't think he's world class, and I think if you bring him to the Premier League, you'll see that. He's not world class. He's very lightweight. We saw it in the Chelsea game as well. We've seen him against Liverpool there a few seasons ago as well. He's not, I think, potentially you could put him with a Harry Maguire who's a bigger unit and he might be allowed to shine a little bit. But is Harry Maguire and Nemanja Vidic that allows Varane to do that? I don't think so.
I think certainly Maguire in the last 6 months of the season was outstanding, to be honest.
Well, again, I don't think outstanding. I think that's, again, he was good. He was good. Do you know what I mean?
It's a bit harsh now.
He was
very, very good.
Yeah, I would have been the biggest critic of Harry Maguire, but I think that last 6 months, you really can't. I mean, they at the back, they were incredible. Like, you know what I mean?
And then looking at him since he came into the England team as well now after the third game, he's been immense as well in the 3 games. I know they haven't played much.
He's just a shy hawk. I think that's why I hate him. He's just such a fucking little bitch. Like the way he goes down, he's just a knacker. I think that's why I can't take to him. I just don't like the man. I really don't. Give me Rudiger. Rudiger is there's the fucking difference.
I don't think the criticism for Harry Maguire would have been as much if he had went for 40-50 million.
I'd agree with you there. I think that's fair. I think that's very fair. I think, and that's not his fault, actually, to be fair. I don't think Harry Maguire is shy. I don't. I'm just saying some outlets will say, like, it's like, oh, Harry Maguire, and you're going, have you looked at what Antonio Rudiger is doing over here? He's just at the winning of the Champions League, and you're going on about Harry Maguire. There's a bit of a resurgence. Do you know what I mean? And it's probably neither player's fault. You know what I mean? It's just the media that probably do that.
It's where they were born.
But yeah, exactly. But no, I would agree. I think Harry Maguire has definitely become a far better player than what I thought he was.
Certainly,
last season or
certainly Varane going in would be very interesting.
That
Like-
would be interesting. And that's why I wanted to say, lads, context before anyone shoots me in the fucking face. What I'm saying is I think Varane is just a little bit overrated for what I think the Premier League needs. I could be completely wrong and I'll probably eat my words. And if so, I have no problem with that. I'm just saying I just find him a little bit lightweight for my liking. And maybe going in with an informed Harry Maguire there. You know what I mean? If he takes the confidence from the Euros and the end of last season, that could be a match made in heaven, and you could be looking at a potential Vidic.
To me, that back four for United, if you got Varane in, would be as fixed as it's gonna get since Ferdinand, Vidic, Neville, and Everett.
Oh, definitely. I mean, especially with Luke Shaw at left back, and then obviously what's his name,
Wan-Bissaka.
Wan-Bissaka at right back. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I agree. I mean, United, Liverpool, and Chelsea, I believe, were in for Sergio Ramos. But I'd say he knew that his body wouldn't be out for the Premier League at this age. You know what I mean? And then on top of that, let's go to the money, and that's fair enough. I mean,
to be honest with you, he might as well. Like he's not getting any younger. He's 34, 35 now.
Isn't that why you admire? Isn't that why people should take a step back and admire Thiago Silva?
What I wanted United to get him. Like the lads were saying to me, "Oh, I wouldn't take him. I wouldn't take him." Of course, you take him on a free. Why wouldn't you?
Fucking right.
But
well, anyone that says that like that to you, Greg, though, is just talking shite, because of course you would take someone like that on a free. Like it's like these football fans that say, wouldn't take Messi on a free. It's too much money, as if it's coming out of their own pocket.
I couldn't care less if the man wanted £2 million a week. I'd take him.
Absolutely, you would. And anyone, I swear, and this is, Niall, find a football fan that will come on and start talking shite about, we don't have the money for that. I'm going to fucking crucify him or her. It's a ridiculous argument. It's not coming out of your own pocket. Shut up and enjoy the football. Do you know what I mean?
The only way it comes out of your pocket is when you buy the 3 jerseys a year. That's it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I suppose the flip side of that as well, though, and I suppose Messi is a bad example, but in the way that we love football and stuff like that, do we really want the escalation of this money to that point? Like,
no.
Well, that's not good for the game.
No, but there's a perfect example, though, of a footballer, right, who came from PSG, who was getting astronomical money, who went to sign for Frank Lampard because he wanted to try it in the Premier League, thought this is a good project, I can help out certain players. And Thiago Silva has literally taken the Chelsea Football Club quicker than fucking any player I've ever seen personally.
100%.
It's absolutely mental. You know, even in that game when he was injured, he was kicking every ball. And to see him win you know what I mean? Greg, you can understand where I'm coming from as a fan. Like if you were on the flip side and you're looking at that as a fan, you'd be like, love Thiago Silva. Do you know what I mean?
I've always loved him.
There's a romance to the story.
No, but that's what I'm saying. There's a romance to it. He's literally just at the goal, and literally, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if he has the CFC fucking tattooed on him by the end of the season. Like, it's just some players you get that move, and some players just absolutely fall in love with it. You know what I mean?
We're in the same boat with Cavani.
Yeah.
The abuse that United got for signing Cavani, was a panic buy. He's too old. But yet, these are the same people that love Jamie Vardy, who's actually older than Cavani is.
Yeah. No, I'd agree. I think Cavani, like, I mean,
he took a bit longer to settle in, but
but he was coming off some fucking pretty nasty leg injuries as well. Like, because Cavani's always been a bit of a battler. Like, I mean,
he's a dog.
You would see Cavani like on the ice with an ice hockey team, like fucking getting stuck in. You know what I mean? He's one of those. He's a South American. They're those Uruguayans, man. They're made from tough stuff. But.
Like it shows the difference that you were saying about coming from PSG to play in the Premier League. Thiago Silva came across on a free. Cavani came across on a free, and then we had Ibrahimovic come across, and all 3 of them have worked.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like it's a difference in mentality.
I think Niall, you always talk about that, Niall, don't you? The mentality of some of these players. Do you think it's maturity? Do you think it's
the desire and the will to win? I think.
Do you know what it is? I think it's years of the cleverness that they build up, that they just know how to play football. And I think it's not something. It's something that they can kind of share within the ranks in there. So the likes of Greenwood training with him constantly is going to be amazing for him. But
Oh
I
yeah,
think if
absolutely.
you look at Cavani, it's kind of his instinct in the 6-yard box is unnatural. You never see anything like it. Like, he's just incredible the way he does it.
I love him, man. I was so annoyed he went to United because I've always been a big fan of him. But
Well, like,
I can't even hate him now that he's there.
I was looking at it, right? So now with Sancho coming in, you're going to have Sancho and Ahmed on the right. You'd have Rashford, Martial the left. And you're going to have Greenwood, Cavani up top in whatever way they want to play it. But, like, getting him in, watching his movement, watching his finishing ability can only be a benefit for everyone around him. Yeah. Like, he's there for another year and he's gone then. Okay, fine. Yeah. But, like, 6 months of watching someone do the same thing, you're going to pick it up somewhere.
Well, I'll give you a perfect example. Can you imagine Cavani being the spearhead of that Chelsea attack instead of Timo Werner? Imagine what a team they would be. I mean, that's a Premier League winning team right there, isn't it?
This is what I said to you when you signed Werner in. I says, you need someone to play off him. I says, he's not going to go and stand up front. I said it to you the other night. No, he's not going to play up front and score.
He's never been that player. He's never been that player.
I said it to the lads when he signed for Chelsea. I said, they need to sign your man Poulsen as well and play him. He's the one that attracts everybody and leaves the space. Chelsea don't play with two up top, and it doesn't work. You know what I mean?
Well, before we get to the rest of the Euros, I will just say this. I'm telling you here now, that Kai Havertz lad can be anything that Tuchel wants him to be. I'm looking at him, and he can play that role possibly. You know what I mean? If he because he's tall enough, he's big enough. But I think they are going to get a centre forward either way. But
I think
I agree with everything you say, Greg. I watched him when he destroyed Tottenham, Werner. He destroyed Tottenham with Leipzig, and it was because he had that fucking target man. It's always those quick 1-2s. Anyone that thought Timo Werner was just this, Fernando Torres number 9. It's like Torres even when he played with Gerrard. There was always someone that they bounced off. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but Torres was a different animal though.
Oh, good Lord. Tell me about it. The fucking prick. I wanted to kick the shit out most of the time when I watched him when he played with Liverpool against Chelsea. And then when he signed for us, I was like, happy days. And
you'd have to admire him, though.
Million repaid with 1 goal against fucking Victor Valdez.
When you watch Torres when he signed for Liverpool, he was just phenomenal.
He was awesome. And then he converted to Chelsea and loves Chelsea now, and it's great. That's even better.
Yeah, it didn't work so well for him at Chelsea, apart from the Champions League. But
it did. It did. 22 goals the next season. Europa League as well.
Let's
move on. 50 million, 100%.
Oh, that 1 goal against Victor Valdez was worth 100.
Let's get back to the Euros anyway. Denmark,
Noel doesn't want to hear this.
No, I know you're about. I'm happy to listen to it.
I'm only messing. But I'm only teasing. I
presume you're about going with Italy, yeah?
Yeah, 100%. I just think Italy will get it done in 90 minutes. I think, Spain they've showed flashes of brilliance. You know what I mean?
It's not enough.
No, it's not enough. I think Italy will win this fairly comfortable.
I think Spain will try and dictate and control the tempo, but it won't work. Jorginho and Verratti and Barolio, whatever his name is.
Barella,
they will dictate, and they're too classy in there for the midfield. Busquets can't get around like he never really could. But
Spain need to play Thiago, in my opinion, on this one as well.
I don't think that because he won't. He's not the type of player that's going to help them in this. He's not going to run.
No, but I'm just thinking more from a passer perspective, because Busquets, he won't be a long ranger. He's not like a Jorginho where you play a ball over the top or kind of, Busquets will go in and get dirty and pick stuff out. But
yeah, the way Enrique's setting this team up,
I know.
It's not going to benefit.
No, you're right.
Him.
Yeah, right.
He ain't going to change.
Like even playing your man Pedri is a bit of a thing. Now he's been good, but he's the only one that's looked good. Yeah. Like I like your man Koke, but he's done nothing.
He's a good player, man. He's a good player, but Not done a lot.
They're like he's just gone for work. He's just gone for workhorses in there. 2 workhorses.
He's a shite
and
manager,
Busquets to
Luis
help.
Enrique. Isn't he?
Yeah.
I'm glad not.
But like, it's what I said the other day. Not taking Ramos was a fucking joke. I don't care if he was injured for some of the season. It was a fucking joke.
I agree. I 100% agree.
Let's move on then. Denmark versus England.
You want to take that one, Greg, first?
Yeah, I think I want Denmark. I really do, being Irish and whatnot. But I think Denmark's unity might help them. It depends on which England show up. If it's the England that started that second half today for the first 15 minutes, I think they could blow Denmark apart. But Denmark are dogs. They'll sit in. Your man Kjær has been brilliant at centre back.
Can I just give a shout out?
The whole
to
team have been brilliant.
Chelsea player as well, fucking Christensen. That's another player
Yeah,
that
he's
has
been very good.
literally went from here to here since Tuchel's come in. I mean, he's still only 24 as well. Like, that lad has just grown into exactly what we thought he would be as Chelsea fans at one point. And I think him and Kjær have been fucking phenomenal.
That fullback.
Look at Christensen going into the midfield at times as well.
Yeah, he's stepping out an awful lot now.
Yeah, I mean, what a great little baller! Like, and yeah, sorry, you were talking about the fullback there, Greg.
Yeah, your man Mikhail, is it? Mikhail. Your man had the assist today.
Yeah,
he's been immense.
Amazing.
And it's good. It's good to see your man Kasper Dahlberg. He's very clever. When he was with Ajax, he was brilliant. It's good to see him getting back into it.
I'm very happy for him. I've always thought he
took his goal pretty well today.
Oh, he's fucking phenomenal, man. Like,
he's
actually
3 goals in 2 games.
He's a natural goal scorer. Like, I mean, he always reminded me of Van Nistelrooy, even at Ajax. You know what I mean? He had that kind of presence because he's a big boy too. Do you know what I mean?
Even the other lad they have, the fella they brought on last week, the big centre forward.
Did you see the runs he was making? Like, literally taking on. What the fuck? I was like, this lad looks the epitome of a Viking. You're like, he's coming to take over your country now.
He that front 4 of Denmark could cause England a lot of problems. Your man Damsgaard looks very good as well.
Yeah, definitely. You know what? I think they're going to cause England problems. And you know, unlike the usual Irish narrative, I don't hate England. At the end of the day, what am I wearing? You know. I just don't like them winning things because you never hear the fucking end of it. And that's where we draw the line.
They won in '66 and we're still here.
No, so my opinion is more based on their media rather than the team and the players. Southgate's getting called this tactical genius and all that, and I think that's not correct. He literally flutes around fucking the big clubs that are doing well and borrows tactics from managers, you know what I mean? But either way, take away the agenda. I do believe that, I don't know, I think the team unity and I think the fact that it's a semi-final, it depends how much England want it. And if we're talking about quality, let's be real here. If we're talking about quality, without a shadow, without England should win it. You know what I mean? And they should win it comfortable enough. Easy. However, it comes down to desire and heart.
Well, I don't think there's any lack of that in this England side at the moment. They're on fire.
No, there isn't, and that's what I'm saying, Noel. I think this match could come down to who wants it more. Do you know what I mean? In terms of what's happened with Eriksen, you know, this Denmark team look to be proper tight now. And I know, obviously, England are bringing Mount back into the team now as well tonight.
What a player!
And, you know, yeah. I mean, to pick from Mount, Grealish, Jadon Sancho, it's an embarrassment of riches, really.
But there you look at it. They were talking today, just after the game. They were saying about playing Sancho, him or Saka are ahead of Foden now for that right wing spot. You know what I mean? Foden played the first 2 games and was very, very poor.
He was,
was very, very good during the season. But Grealish can't even get a look in. I know he played 1 game. Do you know what I mean? Or 2 games, was it?
He was brilliant when he came on.
He was phenomenal. I think I think I think Foden and Mount had a decent first game. I think Mount has been good anyway throughout most.
He's been the driving force for England.
Yeah, he's been the driving force. I think when they played Scotland, it was a different story because it was a different young Billy Gilmore that fucking caused the stir in that one. But I honestly do believe that this match comes down to a battle of wills. You know what I mean? And who wants more? And I know Niall's looking for a prediction and not for a fucking psychological examination from me, but I do believe I do think Denmark can get to the final. I really, really do.
This here for England depends on the goalkeeper.
Yes.
He is fucking dirt.
Pickford.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Dirt. He nearly cost him a goal tonight.
Henderson.
Now it was grand because they were
right.
Henderson's not there.
Oh, he's not there.
He went home injured after the first game. They have your man Ramsdale.
Okay.
So he's got to play. Henderson should have started, really.
I don't know.
Oh, definitely. Because Henderson will be,
I don't know. Are we doing a couple of things to pick up on? One, I think we're kind of doing Southgate a bit of a disservice in terms of talking about his tactical stuff and things like that. I think he has made some big decisions in the tournament in terms of, one, who he's brought, and two, who he's used. And I was questioning that a lot, but it has worked out well for him so far. So I think we do have to give him some credit there, in fairness. I mean, you look at the talent, that's on the bench. You know what I mean? That hasn't been used.
Okay. I'm gonna let's give us the route to this story so far, right? And then compare it to Italy's journey, for example, or Spain's.
Well, I'm not necessarily talking about the journey. I'm talking about insofar as, I mean, he has set up the team, I think, very well.
Yeah, against fucking jobbers, like.
Well, I mean, he played against. I mean, whatever you want to say about that German side, he still had to go out there. They still had to do the business, and they went out and they did the business. There's no doubt about it.
They did the business. They did the business.
And that tactical decision at that time to bring on Grealish, I think, was huge. You know what I mean?
But it doesn't take a genius. It doesn't take a genius to go, let's bring on Grealish.
No, but I mean, you still have to make those decisions in those moments. You know what I mean? And I think it happened to work for him. Yeah.
But what's going to happen now? Yeah, what's going to happen now? Say when? Oh, sorry. There's a bit of lag there. Sorry. Continue now. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say. I think he's been. I think he's been. Everyone expected him to be super cautious, and I think there is an element of that at times. But I think the likes of, how he's got the likes of Raheem playing, who had a bad season, who's playing phenomenal for England at the moment.
He's been phenomenal, yeah.
And I think Kane, after coming back to form after having a sluggish start, I think is on fire. But I think his use of the experience at the right time, mixed with that blend of youth, I think is not dissimilar to Italy. Now I know it hasn't been as prolific in looking as
Harry Maguire coming back was a big deal for him, wasn't it? In fairness,
I think that was always kind of happening.
Yeah,
but I also think, like, in those moments at those times, like he could have brought Grealish on the other day. It could have been a disaster. You know what I mean? Who knows? You know what I mean? But I think his use of those players, I think, has been very, very clever. Because who's to say? I mean, he started Sancho tonight. You know what I mean? And like, for all intents and purposes,
who was right back tonight? Actually,
Walker.
I'm kind of annoyed that fucking Reece hasn't got a look in. Other than
there was zero chance he was getting a look in over Walker. And I know he played. What did he play? The second game it was against Scotland,
which is crazy when you think that one won the Champions League and one got basically shadowed out with the Champions League.
Well, again, this is what I'm talking about in terms of those Southgate decisions. And
no, you're right. He's made some big decisions. Yeah, you're 100%.
So I do think.
Yeah, look, I think he's overrated as a manager. Personally, I think if he's in the Premier League, I think he'd be Middlesbrough level. I don't think he would know how to manage a squad. Personally, I don't think. And look, until he wins the fucking competition,
You mean
Then we can have
you
this
mean when we come back here next Sunday and are talking about it being like bollocks?
Or Morata's banged in a hat trick and we're all eating humble pie.
And I'll be like,
I'll
do you
be
know
all
what?
right with that.
Chelsea need a striker. Nobody wants one. Do you want to come round too, Morata? Come on back. You're a good-looking lad. You're marketable. Come
so
on.
what are you picking here, lads? Are you going with Eriksen?
All right, I'm
Denmark?
gonna go with me gut. I think I think I'm going to be realistic. I do honestly believe I see a draw in 90 minutes, and I think Denmark, if they can get that, they can really bring fucking, England into a dogfight. And if they get them on penalties, England will start getting fucking nervous. You know what I mean?
I prefer Schmeichel in net than I would Pickford for a shootout.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. And I think England will get very fucking nervous in extra time.
But I'd prefer the English outfield taking my penalties than I would the Danish ones.
That's also true. Look, I'm just going to make a stab in the dark here. I think Denmark will win.
Denmark go through to the final. That's what you're saying, yeah?
Yeah.
Greg?
Yeah.
You sticking with Denmark? Is the wave of Eriksen, is that still going to continue all the way to the final?
I do hope so. I
think it will grow, no?
I was bold in the last decision one when I went with Switzerland to beat Spain, and it very nearly paid off. I'm bound to get one of them right.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm going to go with Denmark. They'll drag England down exactly the same way Scotland did. But no, that's not a thing. Scotland didn't bring England down. England tried to bring Scotland down in that game.
No, but Greg, you're basically essentially saying the same thing that I am. I think Denmark have the potential to bring England into the fight, into the dogfight. Do you know what I mean?
It's not the type of game England want to play, like Rice.
Exactly.
Rice,
I think they can take them into parts unknown, if you will. You know what I mean?
It really showed up in that Scotland game that Rice and Phillips weren't with it for the scrap that came with it. Like, I think they can be easily outdone with a bit of class. Now, Denmark might not have it all, but they'll certainly work for 90 minutes to 120 minutes, whatever they want to play. I'm gonna go with Denmark. I'm gonna be bold and go Denmark.
It's interesting to look
By the way,
I'll just say you're both second guessing your guess there, aren't you?
I'll just say Declan Rice, watch this space.
He can go and fuck himself, the traitor prick.
No, that's all Martin O'Neill's fault. We've had this. We
know that, but he still could have waited.
There's an uncomfortableness, isn't there, when you see him belting out the anthem?
Yeah,
and he's singing in full voice, and it's just.
Did you see the prick today when he scored the second goal and he's there celebrating with the crest in front of the fans? You scored against Ukraine, lads. They were the worst team in the competition.
Do you know what? Shevchenko should have put the number 7 on. Shevchenko just should have put the number 7 on. I mean, he looks the same as he did when he fucking played. The lad doesn't age. He's drinking from the fountain of youth. No, he should have literally just put fucking number 7 on.
Within that, they weren't the worst team in the competition, but they were certainly the worst team left in this round.
Look, at the end of the day, they got to the quarterfinals and fair fucking play to them, and they should be, applauded for it. England are a quality team, and and by the way, fair play to Shevchenko, absolute one of my favorite players of all time. I know it didn't work out with Chelsea, but just as a player in general, what a man, what a player. And his affiliation to Chelsea now is even better than it was when he played. Like he's there at Cobham every week with his kid. Like, and I think he's a great little manager, and I think he could definitely go on and become something better from that. I think if he gets into like a smaller club in management, he definitely has potential, because what he was working with, he done a great job in getting there. You know,
having Yarmolenko and Yaremchuk playing the way they were playing was phenomenal.
Absolutely. And the fact that he got them, very good.
Yeah, well, I suppose you're not going to get a better man to motivate you, are you?
No.
You're definitely not going to get a better man to teach you how to score goals, bar maybe Van Nistelrooy.
Ballon d'Or fucking winner, like literally. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So.
Okay, well, I'm picking England here because I think England are just.
Yeah, big ratchet.
No, I think England. I just think in terms of football and stuff like that. I just think they've so many more options, so much more going for them. And I think there is a togetherness with this squad. I think they're fighting for each other, and
when they're playing against nobody.
Yeah, but you can only play against who you're playing against. You know what I mean? Like, you can't, like,
Yeah,
I say that all the time.
You know what I mean? Like, they didn't put the Netherlands out of the competition.
So do you think that this England team is more together than the Italian team?
No, but I think this England team is more together than any previous England team.
Oh yeah,
bar 66, I suppose. But I mean, in terms of normally at this stage in the tournament, we have stuff coming out. There's infighting, there's trouble, there's problems, there's blah 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 blah.
What happened? Gaza's gone missing.
Yeah, you're not getting any of this with this. Even the guys at the moment who aren't getting in are talking it up, and they're staying positive, and they're all celebrating. Like, if you look when England score at the moment, the amount of guys with bibs that are running to celebrate and everything and all.
Yeah, Reece James and all, they're fucking.
Yeah, there's a huge wave there at the moment, and I just think with the options they have, I think they'll have too much for Denmark. I really do, and I hate saying that because I love Denmark to bits. I don't have a problem with them at all, and the Eriksen thing.
Niall, you and me are going to do one personal one now. You and me, a tenner.
Yeah, that's not a problem. Yeah.
Grand, done.
Yeah.
Ian gets 2-1.
Yeah.
That's your odds, Greg.
You're very clever. Yeah, Greg has called it.
I'm bound to get one right, lads.
Yeah. I'm also, funny enough, lads, as weird as it may sound, I don't know. I think I'm thinking of a Spain-England final. And that's I'm putting that out. I'm putting that out there. That's what I just have I don't know what it is about this Spanish team. I just have
I'll give you 10-1 on that right now.
I might take you up on it, but it's a yeah. I just don't know. Like, I'd love to see, of course. I mean, ideally, what we'd love to see is an Italy-Denmark final, and we'd love to see maybe Denmark beat England on penalties, and the lads could share it.
Oh well, like my dream actually would be.
Could you imagine the
final? My dream would be for England to get to the final, because my Jorginho jersey is literally on the way. It's going to be here in a couple of days.
Yeah.
And for Italy to fucking destroy them.
I have visions of Southgate again in the brown bag with another Pizza Hut ad or whatever it is, or something like that. You know what I mean?
Do you know what? It's like you know, the meme that I would make there with England and Italy in the final, I'd have a picture of Mancini and Southgate, and I'd be like, this is what you get when you try to get Gucci on Wish. Rachel said to me last night, she goes, that Italian manager, like, he's an alpha, like, the slickest fucker, the one bit of grey coming down over the fucking, he's so fucking cool. And then, by the way, there's a man on the back of my jersey here.
That's your ass.
Yeah, you need to bend up a bit. There you go.
Oh,
Vialli.
Villas-Boas.
To see that man, that
Villas-Boas.
Villas-Boas. No, obviously with Vialli going through the cancer at the moment as well, and still there, and seeing the emotion.
Did he not get the all clear?
No, he came back a little while ago, and came back, and he's basically kind of doubting himself, and it's like, if there's one thing that this man needs from this Euros, that would be the
W.
That would be the W. And
well, you'd prefer Italy to lose if it meant that he gets a clean bill.
Hell yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Hell yeah. Anything to keep Vialli around for longer. I'm in.
Right, so just
of all time.
Let's clear this up. So, Greg, you're going Italy-Denmark final. Ian, you're going Italy-Denmark final. And I'm putting myself out big time. I'm going Spain, England. But I know already. I'm gonna regret it. But like, that's
But you know what? You could have the last laugh, though.
I visions of them polishing up that brown statue outside FA headquarters for Southgate or something like that. You know what I mean? Good lord.
Well, sure. We'll see come Wednesday night.
Yeah. Good lord. Yeah, but gentlemen, Absolute pleasure having you on as always. Great to
Thanks for having us,
go
Noel.
through the football. Not a bother at all. Dynamo Podcast Network on YouTube for all the videos, Spotify, Apple iTunes, Podbean for all the audio versions of the show. And if you'd like to contact the show, of course, drop your picks into the comments. Greg, appreciate you coming on. Check out Retrotainment, some brilliant retro movie stuff out there, Terminator 1 or 2. Obviously, check out On the Slab, Dynamo's Dozen, The Flaming Puck, The Chelsea Roar. And if I've left
I just want to say to Greg and Ted as well while he's here, like they're doing a great job. Like they built it from the ground up.
Yeah.
And you know, the more and more each week, you know, for me as the podfather, as they like to say, to be able to sit back and watch the growth, you know what I mean, and see the views and see the downloads go up and up. It's great to see, and it's great to and well earned, by the way, Greg. It's
thanks, lads.
It's great to see lads putting the fucking graft in and
getting rewarded for it. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's incredible. I went down this morning and Ben was downstairs and he was having breakfast. And what's he doing? First of all, he's watching Jaws on the slab. And then I went back upstairs and when I went back down, here he is putting on these Terminator ones as well. And I said, "Oh, you're a fan of the podcast now all of a sudden, are you?" Yeah. And he's just laughing there, sitting back watching it. Yeah. So it was brilliant to see it, like, you know.
That's great. Yeah.
Obviously, if you want to contact the show on Twitter at _upper_tier, you'll get us on Facebook, the upper tier, and you can also contact us on Instagram. Gentlemen, pleasure as always.